How motivated are you feeling these days? Maybe you are laser focused on your goals, highly productive and feeling great. Or you may be tired, stuck, treading water, or even going backwards. Well, wherever you find yourself today, we are going to help you reset for success.
This is Graham Yahtzee and Janelle Bruland, and welcome to the Intentional Leadership Podcast. During times of immense challenge, it creates opportunity to grow and change and improve. Where are you today? Sometimes it's tough to be going through these times, but if you look at what is there, what's in front of you, and how to take advantage of those challenging times, you can really blossom and grow when you come out of them. Today, we're going to talk about how to get unstuck, how to evaluate where you are and where you want to go so that when you come out of these tough times, you're in a better spot. 3 key points we're going to talk about would be what reset and talking about what we can evaluate, kind of look where you're at, where you want to go. Also look at where your energy levels are. Are you down? Are you up? Where are you with that? And how can you change that? And then third, we're going to talk about reset, some lessons that you can use and tools so that you can kind of move forward and come out stronger and better during times like this. Before this, we reset in these times, it was, how are you? And people would answer, I'm busy, I'm fine, I'm okay, life's great. Now, what if I asked you that today, Janelle? What if I said, hey, how are you? Well, how would you answer?
Well, good question. Today I'm feeling pretty good. But in these challenging times, there have certainly been ups and downs. And I sure found in talking with clients and colleagues that people are answering that question a little bit different these days in these times of challenge. You ask, how are you? And people will say, well, I'm okay. And you'll even hear more honesty about, well, I'm tired or frustrated, disappointed. Right. I mean, people are feeling tired these days. Not just tired on the outside, but tired on the inside. The weight is heavy of the challenges that we're going through right now. And you may be facing challenges in your business. We're certainly facing challenges here in the United States and in the world with this global pandemic that we're facing. So today we really want to talk about how you can reset yourself for success when you find yourself in this place where you're feeling tired, perhaps feeling weary.
Right. And one thing we just did recently, it was in our anniversary, we took some time out. We went out and we went and escaped for a little bit out in the wilderness, or out in the water actually. And I took you on a hike up to the top of Mount Constitution in Washington on Orcas Island. And I remembered it as a kid as a quick little hike that, took a little bit and maybe take 3 or 4 hours. I looked at it on the map. That seemed about reasonable. And 6 hours later, we were back.
Yes, it was a bit of a long day. We thought we were down at
popular.
Yeah, we were down at the marina, and Mount Constitution is this beautiful mountain on the top of Orcas Island, and we decided, well, why don't we just go from the marina? And we thought it would take maybe 3 or 4 hours round trip, and It did take, believe me, because I tracked it. It took us 6 hours, and 15 miles later, we made our way back. So I'm in pretty good shape, take pretty good care of myself, but 15 miles was a long ways to go, and I was tired. And I remember as we were on the trail, and it was beautiful, we were really enjoying ourselves as one of those perfect summer days, and you're enjoying the shade of walking through the trees and coming along the lakes as we were going up the mountain. But it started to get long, and about 2 hours in, I was really getting tired, and I was starting to complain just a wee bit and saying, when are we going to get there? I am tired. When is this going to be over? When will we be through this? And I was feeling, are we lost? Where are we? How come we're not to a vantage point yet? And I remember being so relieved when we finally saw a trail sign, and I was able to know just exactly where we were, exactly how far we had to go until our destination. And then I felt so much better. Right. It made such a difference. But it made me realize that often in life, we feel like that. We're tired. And in the case of this pandemic that we're all living in together, we don't know exactly how long this is going to last and what is potentially the outcome going to be. And it's long and And all of us are feeling a little weary. So if you listening today are feeling weary today, you are not alone. We have felt that. Our teams have felt that we lead, and our clients. We know many business leaders that are feeling weary. But remember that feeling weary doesn't mean that you're weak. It doesn't mean that you're weak. And we want to talk about the first point today in order to reset is evaluate where you are. So let me ask you today, those of you that are listening, where are you today? How are you feeling? Are you feeling energetic, highly motivated, and laser focused? Or on that opposite side, like many business leaders out there right now, are you feeling stuck? Are you feeling weary? And be okay with just being honest with where you are.
Yeah, and I think that, a lot of people are just in this fog, the COVID fog, where it's kind of like this fall is setting in right now and the weather's changing, and out on the water, it's foggy in the morning, or even at our house, it's foggy in the morning, and we're tired and you can't see where you are. And we have to work to kind of break that fog away from our day to day. And we can do that by taking time to evaluate where we are.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
One of the things I think you as a listener, if you haven't done it already, you did a great series on success rhythms. They could go find that and be able to watch that and try and reset and recalibrate using that.
Yes, definitely. One of those things that I taught about this year is really did a lot of research on rhythms and how important, how critical it is, foundational even, that we have both work and rest rhythms, and we develop these habits. And in times of challenge, sometimes our rhythms get changed, and not in a bad way, not in a good way, in a bad way. And so one of those ways to evaluate yourself is to be looking at what are your current work rhythms and rest rhythms? Are you getting enough rest, or are you on your computer for hours and hours at a time and not giving yourself a break? That's going to certainly lead to being tired. And I think in this process of evaluation, if you're honest with yourself, we're all going to find an area of our life, of our work, of our business that we're struggling in. And so this process of evaluation takes some time with yourself, take some time with your team, and really evaluate where you are. As Jim Collins says, confront the brutal truth. Start with that place and evaluate where you are today. What really looks different from where you had expected you would be at this time in the year? So really evaluate where you are. That's part of resetting for success.
Oh, that's great.
So let's go on to number 2.
Let's reset our energy, manage our energy. Right now, it's hard sometimes. You're lacking energy almost when you can't see where you're going. It's harder to move forward sometimes.
Definitely.
Tell us, when you're weary, when you're tired, it's hard to manage that. And how do you improve your energy? How do you try and break through so that you're full of energy, you can go get everything done, get it done in the back, the way you want to, and maybe looking forward towards the end of the year, using that energy to gain ground that you may have lost over the last few months because of everything going on.
Right, exactly. Well, we talked about this in our leadership mastermind group in our last session. Is we talked about, how full is your energy tank? And some of us, have been running on empty in certain areas. So as you've evaluated, do you feel like there's certain life areas that you are really running empty on? And if that's the case, then what fuels you? And think about those things that's different for all of us. When you're feeling weary, when you're tired, what is your default that you go to when you're weary or you're tired? Do you have that pint of ice cream? Do you get a drink? Do you have some bad habits that you automatically fall into, or are you going toward good things? And I would encourage you to go there. One of our coaching clients that we work with was feeling this tired and weary. We gone through this process of evaluating, and he loved to ride bicycle. For him, riding for hours and hours and getting out in the mountains, both road biking and mountain biking, highly energizing for him. But he had been working so much, he wasn't getting any time to do that. And he said, you know what? When I leave this meeting today, I commit to all of you here that I'm going to get out on my bike. And now we've been seeing social posts of him, and he's been sending us pictures, and he's been all over the Pacific Northwest on his bike. And my last conversation with him when we checked in is, he said, I am feeling great. This is just really helping reset my energy. So important to manage our energy. Graham, what are some of the things that you do that help you manage energy in times like this, times of stress?
Getting outside is big, and making sure that you get fresh air and try to enjoy the beauty that we live in. We're so lucky where we live here in the Pacific Northwest that we can get outside. Making sure we sleep, staying up late, on our iPad or on our TV or just whatever we're doing, reading a book, that sometimes impedes on our sleeping. And so that's not great. One thing that rejuvenated me was when we were out, I stayed out probably past bedtime, but it was pitch black and all I could see were the stars in the Milky Way. And so that was another way of rejuvenating. Getting exercise, getting out, doing that, normally is very easy for me. Right now, I'm struggling to do it, but I'm barely getting out there. I'm doing it, but I know how important it is to build the energy and doing that through exercise. So that's another thing that I think is important.
Yeah, great. And just taking the time off. You were talking about that we took some time away this summer, but it's not even during just the summer. You want to make sure that you are plugging in those times of rest and recovery throughout your week and taking breaks during the day. Something that I've done in the last few months, which has been kind of nice. I was doing a lot of reading to develop myself, which I believe we should be doing that as business leaders. We should be looking to develop ourselves with that kind of reading. But also, it's kind of fun just to have a summer beach read, just a novel. And we've read some really great novels over the course of the summer as well. So what are those things? I'm going to ask you now to think about. What are 3 things for you that when you're feeling weary, what are 3 good things, 3 good success habits you can incorporate that refuel you? Think about what those are and get those scheduled into your life on a regular basis.
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah, making sure you do that rather than go chase the ice cream out of the freezer.
That's true. That's true.
So the third thing is, what are we learning during this? What lessons can we take away from a challenging time? And use that so that we can move forward. And especially now, we're entering the end of the year. It's been kind of a slog. It's been we're walking through quicksand right now in the fog, and we're wondering where we are. We're gonna bust through this. We all are. We know we can.
Well,
but let's be prepared for that. Let's take whatever it is and those lessons and move forward so that we can close out this year. Tell us about what you think you should do for finishing out the year strong.
Yes. Well, I think one of the things that's important in resetting for success is making sure we're not missing the lessons. And we've been talking with our coaching clients about this has been one of the strangest years. It's so surreal. And we all work on goals and goal setting, and we all set goals at the beginning of the year, but we got to this global pandemic and those goals went out the window. And now several months have gone by, and wherever you are, where you're listening to this today, wherever you are in the year, you've likely set goals at the beginning of the year. Where are those now, and how have those changed for you? And maybe you've had some immense challenges in your life, in your business this year, that the goals that you set for yourself at the beginning of the year went out the window. And that is understandable in responding to crisis. You need to do that. But now, as part of resetting, make sure that you're taking time to look at where are you, what goals did you set, and now moving forward, what have you been learning? Sometimes you get caught, you talked about the COVID fog, we get caught in this fog of the day-to-day and the issues and the challenges that we have, that we miss the lessons. And wouldn't it be a shame if we got, down the road a year, 5, 10 years from now, and we look back at this time of challenge and we didn't gain anything from it.
Sure.
We didn't learn anything from it. So I think it's really important to look at that. What are those lessons that you're learning? What have you learned already? What can you learn now? And how about, instead of allowing this to be this wasted year due to the challenge, that we think about how can we make this year a real year of growth, a real year of opportunity. Let's reset for success.
Yeah, no, I like that. I think that we have an opportunity to take the challenges and whatever it was for the first 3 quarters of the year and just use that as a foundation to move us forward. And we can still be successful by the end of the year. We can still achieve those goals if we're laser focused and we do the right things,
right,
and don't get distracted and go down the wrong paths. So,
great. So definitely, as you think about this now, the purpose of this leadership podcast is it's all about intentional leadership. So we challenge you and encourage you to really be intentional about your leadership and what needs to pivot, what needs to change and be adjusted in your plan so that you can have clarity not only for yourself, but you can point your team in a direction. So as you look at your lessons learned, then based on what's happened, based on those things that you've learned, that you and your team have learned, then what do you need to change for success this year? And then visualize that. Try to paint this picture in your mind of what success looks like, and then share that with your team because you want it to be as crystal clear as possible. And then make a plan. Make a plan. I've been talking to my business leaders that I coach about, none of us can feel real sure about where we're necessarily going right now. As a leader, I don't have all the answers. I know you as business leaders don't have all the answers. We're not always going to have them, but that doesn't mean we can't make a plan of action going forward. So based on what you know now, you need to make a plan of action and have it be specific as possible.
well, it'd be perfect talking about making a plan is shameless plug. You just created a 21 days goals course, 21 days so that people can go out and see where they are, where they want to go, and make that very specific plan. And it's online. It's a fully 21 days. So you would go in, spend time with Janelle, and join the Facebook group and the community and kind of help each other out. But that goals course comes out now, and it's ready to go. So something to look into, as well as a way to just kind of help you move forward so that you do have that plan, and it's creating, forcing you to create the plan and going through step by step what to do so that by the end of the, 90 days or wherever you are, you're ready to go and you're where you want to be. So
thanks, Grant. I'd love to help you with that. If you find that you want to actually set those goals and accomplish them, this program can really provide you some success tools to help you make that happen.
Yeah.
But when we talk about a period of success, my suggestion for you as you create an action plan is do it over 90 days. So as we go forward now, why don't you take 90 days from now? For us, we're getting almost into fourth quarter here, so we're looking at the end of the year. Where do you see yourself as for us, 12/31, or pick a date? What is that date 90 days out? And then what are specific action steps that you can take to move forward over these next 90 days?
So I can work out every day. I can buy the 21 day goals course and go through the whole thing in 21 days. And by 21 days, I'll be with my 90 days left of the year.
There you go. Perfect.
Good.
So let's talk about what we've discussed. Let's review what we've discussed today in this podcast. So we've been talking about how to reset yourself for success, whether you've been really motivated and productive and you just kind of want to check in with yourself, or if you've been feeling tired and stuck, you need to reset yourself for success. And the first way is to take time to evaluate. So number one, reset yourself by taking time to evaluate where you are. Number two, reset by learning to manage your energy. What fuels you? Making sure you're taking time for that self-care, because you're only going to be able to take really great care of others and move your team forward in your goals if you're taking care of yourself, and that's by managing your energy. And then the third way to reset is learn the lessons. Make sure you don't miss what is here for you in this challenging time. Let it be an amazing time of growth for you. Let this be an opportunity that you can really turn it into something that's wonderful and significant in your life and the lives of others. So I've included in this podcast a leader's guide for you, and I'm excited to have you print this out, take the time to answer some questions, and share this with your leadership team. It's a great exercise to do together. Work it with your team on how can you reset your company going forward to be successful.
I'm going to include the link to the goals course too.
All right.
There you go.
You may do that as well. Well, thanks for taking the time to listen in today. If you have questions for us, you can reach out to us through the link. You can email me at Janelle@legacy-leader.com or Graham@legacy-leader.com. And you can download this podcast at any place that you love to get your podcasts. You can get that there. So remember, when you grow as a leader, your team will grow and your company will grow. You can transform your leadership, crush your goals, and love your life. Thanks, you guys.
Make it a great day.